Good morning. These are your BYU-Idaho Radio morning headlines for Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. Thanks for listening. I'm Alex Batman. The East Idaho runoff election results finalized last night, and we have the results. The following are results from the runoff races in East Idaho. Lisa Burtonshaw wins the Idaho mayor seat over Jeffrey Aldridge with 6,435 votes, or a majority of 50%. For Idaho Falls City Council seat number 2, Brandon Lee wins against Teresa Dominic with 6,899 votes, or a majority of 60%. And for the Pocatello mayor seat, Mark Dahlquist wins against Greg Cates with 7,238 votes, or a majority of 62%. Jane Clayson Johnson never expected to struggle with her mental health. She had worked for major news outlets as a reporter and anchor before taking a step back to live her dream of being a wife and mother. Soon after having her second child, she went from what she calls situational sadness to a deep clinical depression. It came as a surprise to her.
It felt like someone had thrown me into a dark cave and sealed the entrance, and no matter how hard I tried, I could not find my way out.
In her BYU-Idaho devotional address Tuesday, Johnson said she did find a way through with the help of her husband, medical professionals, and her faith. She also began to talk about her experience with others. That led her to begin interviewing fellow members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints about their struggles with mental illness. Those 150 interviews turned into the book, Silent Souls Weeping. Johnson said BYU-Idaho President Alvin F. Meredith III invited her to talk about mental health in this devotional.
A mental health challenge is not the result of personal inadequacy. It is not a reflection of your character. When we begin to see mental health challenges as burdens of mortal life, not moral failings, our perspective shifts.
She shared 4 steps toward hope and healing with the devotional audience. Be mindful, reframe your conversations, share your story, and trust the Lord.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart, because in the process of this, He will place people, impressions, opportunities, all of these things in your life to guide you toward healing one step at a time.
In her devotional address, she said when she was in her depression, she struggled to feel the Spirit. She continued to pray, read her scriptures, go to church, and attend the temple, but she said she didn't feel the Spirit like she did before the depression.
Depression thrives in secrecy and shrinks in empathy, as do all mental health conditions. So don't be afraid to reach out for help. It's the first step. It's the scariest step, but it'll be the most important thing you will ever do.
There is free help on campus for students at the counseling center. If you know someone in crisis, you can also call 988. You can listen to Johnson's full devotional and our interview with her on our podcast feed. Just follow BYU-Idaho Radio wherever you get your podcasts. Teton Bagel has a new location in Hemming Village. Student reporter Cody Miller has the latest.
Teton Bagel in Rexburg is growing. The local business focuses on breakfast and lunch, ready to be served. The business started in Ryan Bester's house, moved to a food trailer, and then opened up shop inside of the Barber Pop shop in Hemming Village. Now, the bagel shop has its own location a few doors down. Joe Furman is the assistant manager, and Luis Sanchez is the general manager. They both focus on what they call the CHIRB mentality.
And that stands for comfort, heal, restore, and bless. And every sandwich that we make, every customer interaction that we have, we try and focus on that key principle. And it's super helpful outside of work too. You know, it's helped me keep a better mindset in all that I do.
They not only serve bagel sandwiches, they also work with other local companies to sell homemade flour and honey. They use these same ingredients to make their bagels. They make them fresh and ready every day.
We're actually in conversations with a handful of people where we've got a food truck that operates in the Idaho Falls, Ammon area, I believe. And then we're in talks with a handful of people to start franchising out to other areas.
Those franchising potentials will likely be in Utah. Teton Bagel in Rexburg is open Mondays through Saturdays from 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Their Rexburg location is at Hemming Village at the former Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory location. For more information, please visit tetonbagel.com. For BYU-Idaho Radio, I'm Cody Miller.
These have been your BYU-Idaho Radio morning headlines for December 3rd, 2025. Thanks for tuning in. More news, interviews, and great content are available on our podcast feed. Search for BYU-Idaho Radio on your favorite podcast apps. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and more. You can also ask your smart speakers to play KBYI 94.3 FM. This is BYU-Idaho Radio, and I'm Alex Batman.